Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this special council meeting. Planning Board agenda first, November 24, 2021. I'd like to welcome my Deputy Mayor and all of my fellow councillors. We have Councillor Duran online listening and will participate. We have our CAO, Rob Philpott, with us. We have our Director of Finance, Kristen Dunsford. And we have our Director of Economic Development, Mike Tsuska, with us today. We have our Engineer from Technical Services, Aaron McDonald. We have Linda Stevenson from Technical Services. Colin McLean from the Journal Pioneer. Welcome, Colin. Great to have you here again. We have Gordon McFarlane, Director of Human Resources, as well as a lawyer, and our Fire Chief, Ron Inman, and our viewers on YouTube. So welcome to everyone. And at this point in the meeting, we will turn it over to the Chair of Planning Board, Councillor Brian McFeely. The floor is yours, sir.
Hi, thank you, Your Worship, and we will call the November 24th meeting of Planning Board to order and ask for a motion to approve the agenda. So moved by Councillor Adams, seconded by Mayor Stewart. So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, motion carried. The one item on the agenda today is, and I guess maybe just for people listening on YouTube and those with us, the members of Planning Board are Councillor Ramsey, Councillor Adams, the Mayor, and myself as Chair. So we certainly encourage all councillors to be involved in the discussions and so on and so forth, but those are the voting members of Planning Board. One item on the agenda today is a major subdivision application for 425 Granville Street. Supporting explanation: the purpose is to subdivide PID number 322-073, creating lot 99-3A, and the remainder of PID 32073, parcel 99-3-REM. The Planning Board is required to make a recommendation to Council on this application, and preliminary approval is required by Council. Background: an application was received from Pan American Properties, Inc. to subdivide PID number 322-073 into two parcels, lot 99-3A and the remainder of PID number 322-073, parcel 99-3-REM. Lot 99-3A is intended for a pending development. Parcel 99-3-REM will remain undeveloped at this time. The proposed subdivision is indicated on the preliminary survey plan prepared by Locust Survey Limited, dated November 17th, 2021, and that is attached there with the outlined in red. So the report: as required under section 3.6 of the Subdivision and Site Development Bylaw, Council, Planning Board, and the Development Officer shall consider the following general criteria when reviewing the development application under this bylaw as applicable. A, conformity with this bylaw. Staff comment: this subdivision promotes smart growth, making effective use of the land, and applies to the principles of orderly and following. B, conformity with the official plan. Staff comment: the commercial land use of this property conforms to the official plan. This subdivision has no impact on the Parks and Green Space Plan. C, conformity with the zoning bylaw. Staff comment: the proposed lot 99-3A has a split zoning. A portion of the proposed lot is zoned services commercial, C2, and the portion is zoned high-density residential, R4. The future development must conform with the zoning bylaw. D, the orderly and following nature of the development. Staff comment: this development is an example of infilling of vacant land. E, physical suitability of the site for the proposed development, including avoidance of natural hazards, undue water runoff, or environmental damage. Staff comment: the site is suitable for development. The development will have no impact regarding natural hazards or environmental damage, as these matters are not applicable with this development. Water runoff will be directed to city storm drainage system or designated site drainage system. F, compatibility of the proposed development with the present and future surrounding patterns of the street, lots, and services, including conformity with any city concept plans. Staff comment, this development is compatible with the current and future surrounding patterns of streets and services and conforms to the city's future street connect concept plans. G, adequacy of the applicant's proposal for traffic circulation, parking, pedestrian access, water supply, sewage disposal, and storm drainage, including the adequacy of city streets and services to handle increased loads. Staff comment, the proposed street pattern will allow future development of PID number 322073. The proposed residential street will be designed to meet a 50-kilometer-an-hour local street with the speed limit posted at 40 kilometers an hour. The proposed street would have an 8.8 meter width with concrete curbs. The paved shoulder on the proposed street will allow for safe pedestrian traffic. The city's water supply and water main lines in the area are adequate for the new lot and proposed streets. The developer owner will be required to install new storm drainage mains, water and sewer mains, and new service laterals will need to be installed to the property lines. All infrastructure will be designed and installed to meet city standards at the developer's cost. Future street extension or cul-de-sac will depend on development plans for the remainder of the subject property. H, suitability of the parkland provision. Staff comment, parkland dedication is not required for commercial land use. I, impact on the city's finances and budget. Staff comment, the preliminary subdivision approval application does not have an impact on the city's finances and budgets. J, proof of conformity with any applicable provincial legislation and regulations. Staff comment, the developer shall conform with all provincial requirements as applicable. K, other matters as considered relevant. Staff comment, the proposed street will be named as per the site development and street naming policy in the site development and subdivision bylaw. Staff review, technical services staff support the application from Pan American Properties for preliminary subdivision approvals to subdivide PID number 322073, creating lot 99-3A. As per section 8.5 of the subdivision and site development bylaw, the planning board shall make a recommendation to council on this application before it is approved or denied. The planning board recommendation, whether carried or defeated, will be brought forward for council for a final decision. So the planning board recommendation, preliminary subdivision approval will be granted to Pan American Properties, Inc. for preliminary subdivision approval to subdivide PID number 322073, creating lot 99-3A, be recommended to be approved by council subject to the following. 1, the developer enter into a development agreement. So we would ask for a mover and a seconder, and then we would open the floor to comments and questions. So moved by Councillor Ramsey, seconded by Councillor Adams.
Just a comment there, Mr. Chairman. It says brought forward for council. That will be right after this meeting.
Yeah, it's a special council meeting immediately following this meeting, yes. Any comments or questions? I know the applicant, representative from APM, Mr. Banks, is here. I don't know if he has any comments. I can't see you back there, Timmy. Yeah. I don't, if you have any comments or no? Perfect.
Welcome, Tim.
Welcome.
Great to have you here. I said Tim. Maybe I should have said Mr. Banks.
No questions? We're all good? Okay. We'll call the question if there's no questions. No comments?
Question?
So planning board, all those in favor of the recommendation say aye.
Aye.
Contrary? Motion carried. And we would welcome a motion to adjourn planning board. Moved by Councillor Ramsey, seconded by Councillor Adams. We are adjourned.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And we'll move right into the special council meeting of November the 24th, 2021. And as was mentioned earlier, we have all the same members and chambers. So, is there a motion to approve the agenda? Moved by Councillor Adams and seconded by Deputy Mayor McColeman. All in favour say aye. Contrary nay. Carried. A resolution, Councillor McPhail, you have the resolution?
I do, Your Worship. The resolution, resolution COS 21-193, moved by myself, Councillor McPhail, seconded by Councillor Kerry Adams. Whereas an application for a major subdivision was received from Pan American Property, Inc. to subdivide a portion of PID number 322073 to create a lot 99-3A as shown on survey plan prepared by Locus Survey Limited, titled Plan of Survey showing lot 99-3A, Parcel 2, Parcel 3, and Parcel 99-3 REM, drawing number 21316-S01, dated November 17th, 2021. And whereas, in accordance with Section 3.6 of the Subdivision and Site Development Bylaw, Council shall consider the following general criteria as applicable: conformity with all requirements of this bylaw, conformity with the official plan, conformity with the zoning bylaw, the orderly and following nature of the development, physical suitability of the site for the proposed development, including avoidance of natural hazards, undue water runoff, or environmental damage, compatibility of the proposed development with the present and future surrounding patterns of street, lots, services, including conformity with the city concept plans, adequacy of the applicant's proposal for traffic circulation, parking, pedestrian access, water supply, sewage disposal, storm drainage, including the adequacy of the city streets and services to handle increased loads, suitability of parkland provisions, impact on city's finances and budgets, proof of conformity with any applicable provincial legislation or regulations, other matters as considered relevant. Be it resolved that Council grant preliminary subdivision approval in accordance with Section 8.5 of the Subdivision and Site Development Bylaw to Pan American Properties, Inc. to subdivide a portion of PID number 322073 to create lot 99-3A as shown on survey plan prepared by Locus Survey Limited, titled Plan of Survey showing lot 99-3A, Parcel R2, Parcel R3, and Parcel 99-3-REM, drawing number 21316-S01, dated November 17, 2021, subject to the following conditions: the developer enter into a development agreement with the city. And the map is attached, Your Worship, showing the map, and this bears the recommendation of the Planning Board meeting held on November 24th, 2021.
Thank you, Councillor McPhail. So, the resolution has been heard by all. It was moved by Councillor McPhail and seconded by Councillor Adams. Are you ready for the vote? All in favour say aye. Aye. Contrary nay. Carried unanimously. So that was the only item on the agenda for this special meeting, Councillor McPhail?
It is, yes.
Yeah, okay, and so I guess just before we adjourn, I want to say thank you to Economic Development Director Mike Tetsuska and his department. Thanks to Tech Services. Thanks to our management and CAO, and thanks to Council for supporting this project. And thank you, Mr. Banks. It's been quite a while, but with everybody working together, you know, things were made to happen. And so this is, we're very pleased. It has taken a while, but major projects take some time. And we appreciate the support of everyone, and we're off and running, and I thank everybody. So that's the end of the meeting. Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn? Moved by Councillor McDougall and seconded by Councillor McPhail. All in favour? Contrary nay? Carried.